Hello, my name is Delilah Cordova, Visibility Creator here at Omnipresence Studios. We expose the world to our interviewees' unique products, services, and books, and we also help in their journey to go from undiscoverable to visible in a digital world. I am currently on a mission to conduct 100 author interviews, and we're talking about all things books, from publishing to new authors, and don't forget marketing. I would like to welcome you to our show, Marketing and Coffee, where authors come to get inspired and experience. Hey authors, you finished your manuscript. What do you do next? If you would like to learn more about being featured on my show, go to marketingandcoffee.com. And without further ado, meet our next awesome author. It's Delilah Cordova here with another awesome author interview on Marketing and Coffee. And today I have with me Meghan Fenyoe, and she is the author of You Are Enough, 5 Steps to Move from Struggle to Strength. So I'm going to let her introduce herself and tell you all about her awesome new pre-release, or her book's almost on, it's on pre-order. Right now. So, Meghan, how are you today?
Good, Delilah. Thank you so much for having me on. I'm super excited and love that we're doing a live video right now. So thank you. And so just a little bit about me. I am a veteran and a licensed clinical social worker. I've been a therapist for about 15 years. And I'm also a transformational mindset coach, professional speaker, and author. And as a therapist and a mindset coach, I really help my clients transform negative self-talk into positive self-empowerment and truly helping them believe that they are enough. I take them through a 5-step, program that helps them move from struggle to strength. And this 5-step program is a program that I've actually gone through myself. Which I'll talk about, throughout this interview. And through my coaching and my leadership, consulting and speaking, I have honestly helped hundreds of people accurately assess their challenges and identify ways that they can change, capitalizing on their strengths they already have while building new ones. And what's different about me as a mindset coach is the fact that I have gone through so many struggles throughout my life. And I was honestly living a life without passion and was just going through the motions, of life. My life was mediocre. And once I used this 5-step proven system, I can honestly say that I'm now living a vibrant and beautiful life. And I can truly say after many years that I am truly enough. And so I just finished a book, and here it is. I just actually got it in the mail this week, so it's pretty exciting to have your hands on your book. But the book, like you had said, is called You Are Enough, 5 Steps to Move from Struggle to Strength. And there's a couple questions that I ask people when I'm, talking about the book. And basically it's asking, like, have you ever been in a rut or feeling a little static or stuck in negativity and not sure how to create the life you were meant to live? Or have you ever felt you could not escape your negative thoughts and feelings? Do you feel an emptiness inside of you and feel like a piece of yourself is missing? Or do you struggle with following a healthy lifestyle and a healthy routine due to life's changing demands? Do you feel like you're not enough currently, or have you ever felt like you're not enough? And are you unsure of how to break the cycle or where to start? And so then I ask people, if you've answered yes to any of these questions, you are definitely not alone. Believe me, I have been there. We all have challenges, whether it be in our health, career or relationships. However, it is how we definitely deal with these challenges that allows us to either remain stuck or to begin creating the life we truly desire. And my book, is written really for those who need to discover a roadmap for living a passionate and purposeful life. And the book is a step-by-step guide to redesigning your life so you can truly live that life you've always dreamed of. And what I love about the book is at the end of each chapter, I pose a question that really helps you start thinking outside of the box, basically, and start visualizing your passion and your purpose. And then there's places for you to journal, so you can actually write in the book, and it can really be, your first step into creating the life you've always dreamed of.
Nice. So, yeah, we got people jumping on. Everybody is so excited to see you today, Meghan.
I'm so excited to be here. Hi, everyone.
So if you guys are looking, I had a couple of questions in already, and we got some hearts and everything going on. If you guys are looking for the link to purchase her book, it is in the comments on the, not the comments, but on the post itself. It's a bit.ly link up there. It says bit.ly.com/Meghan Fenyoe. And you can go directly to there and pre-order today or right now.
Yes.
Go do it now.
Yes. The pre-order, I'm going to put a plug. The pre-order is just for the ebook, and it's only 99 cents until Tuesday, because my book launches on Tuesday, everyone. And it's a #1 best new release right now on Amazon. And the paperback as well as the ebook will be available for purchase on Tuesday, the 14th. And the paperback will be available for $6.99 for a very limited time. So jump on there, get the ebook for 99 cents, and then get the paperback as well.
Nice. And I don't know if you mentioned it too. One of the great things about Meghan too is you're also supporting a veteran. And I'm a veteran too. So, Meghan, you're a phenomenal person. I'm so happy to have you on. Everybody's so excited to see you. So I'm going to get into our interview. If you guys are just now watching, make sure you #replay. And if you're just now joining and you missed the great introduction that Meghan gave us to her new release book here on August 14th, make sure you rewind and go back and watch it after the show. So yeah, I want to know more about how you got into writing in the first place, or how you got into writing this book.
Well, that is a very interesting story. But honestly, I've had a bucket list since I was a teenager, and I never thought I was a writer, but I'm very expressive when I talk and, in my journals. And so when I was a teenager, I put it on my bucket list to publish a book by the time I was 40. And I'm 39. So I was going to honestly wait till I was 40 to start my book. But I literally was going through probably the worst 6 years of my life. And more importantly, back in February. And I had already developed this 5-step system as part of my coaching program. And I've actually gone through these steps multiple times in my life, but I was really in the midst of it in February. And so I started my outline of the book in January and actually stopped writing in February because of some personal things, which we can get into if you'd like, but because I was feeling like I wasn't enough. And I was like, how can I write this book? And then I, had a conversation with a man. It's all in this book about, he just encouraged me to get back to writing because I was in the midst of my struggle. And so I wrote. And a lot of people ask like how the experience was for me. And honestly, I don't really remember it because it was a healing journey for me. And I was in the midst of this struggle. And so for me, I just wrote and wrote and wrote, and actually added the first chapter of my book. I was not planning on having it in there, but because I was in the midst of, this abusive relationship, I put it in there. And let me tell you, that chapter was honestly one of the most healing chapters and healing projects I've ever done. And so I started writing in January, and the book was done Memorial Weekend.
Memorial Week, and then you're just launching. Like that's a quick time frame there. You've done this. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's
Well, and
amazing.
I thank you. And I think I'm pretty lucky with that only because I feel like because it's my personal journey, I didn't have to do research because I've been a therapist for 15 years. I'm very, knowledgeable on what I'm writing. And, the book is small, it's an easy read. And for me, I really wanted it, I didn't want a lot of fluff in it, right? I wanted to get to the point, get to the steps so that people could really think about themselves instead of like reading all of this extra stuff. So it's a very easy read. It's like 145 pages. And so for me, that was the important piece of it. And so I think that's the other reason why it was so easy for me to, get it done so quickly.
Right, right. So on your path here in writing this, what, like you said, there was an abusive relationship and a couple of other life events. Did you want to delve a little bit more deeper into that and how it developed into your?
I was married in 2014 and really was not in the understanding that I was in a narcissistic abuse relationship. Hold on one second. Thanks, Rumi. And so I didn't really realize that because it had happened so quickly. I was 34 years old. I wasn't looking for a relationship and literally it all just kind of fell into place. And, he was very romantic. We fell in love super fast. And even as a therapist, like I know about narcissistic personality disorder, but I didn't know the ins and outs of it and all the terms. So long story short, he had an affair for 14 months of our 2.5-year marriage. And he would he filed for divorce. He pulled the papers 3 times. He just kept me on this string. And we actually got divorced in 2016. But he kept me on this string. He would still see me. He would take me out on dates. I never went back to our house after the divorce, which I guess I didn't really think that it was a big deal.
Mhm.
And I had this nudging feeling that I needed to do something more. I mean, I was absolutely 100% devastated about the affair. I mean, I was seeing patients, and in between seeing patients, I was on the floor crying in my office. It literally shattered every part of my life. And so instead of getting my own help, because as a therapist, sometimes we think that we don't need our own help, like we don't need support. I just dove into working full time, started a private practice, started my network marketing business. And I stayed committed and faithful to him even after the divorce because he kept pulling
Wow.
me in. And that nudging feeling I thought was, okay, I need to get away. And so I made the decision to move to San Diego in March of last year, 2017. And then the term that we say with narcissistic personality, the love bombing, continued. It was, I miss you. I made the worst mistake of my life. He would send me things. He came down here to visit me. The day that I moved to San Diego, he met me for lunch and cried and said, please don't leave. I want to make it up to you. Same stuff. And I was like, no, this is what I need to do. If this is meant to be, it will work while I'm in San Diego. So fast forward to February. He, we were talking every day, and he contacted me and said, hey, I have a job interview in San Diego, and I'm going to prove to you that I made the biggest mistake of my life. And I remember I said, okay. And at that point, I didn't tell any of my friends. So this is kind of in the book, I talk about how he was my drug and how I was literally an addict because I was hiding the contact I was having with him from my friends, because my friends would say, Megan, we know when you talk to Tom, you become irritable, you, you know, kind of are isolated, like you're not yourself. And for 6 years, I had lost every part of myself. I had lost my values. I had lost my self-esteem. I was dealing with the I'm not good enough because of the affair. So he came down in February, and I remember praying right before I picked him up from the airport. And I said, God, I said, if this is not what's meant to be, because I said, obviously the affair wasn't enough for me to leave him, but this is not meant to be. I need you to show me. And a day before he left, I found out while he was at my house that he had actually moved in a girl a month before our divorce was final. He had threatened me so I couldn't get an attorney because he did not want to divulge his financials. So he moved her in a month before our divorce was final. This is a totally different girl, mind you, than the one he had an affair with. Bought her a brand new car, and she has been living with him for over 2 years, which is why I never went to the house. And this is another part of narcissism is the financial control, because he still lives in our huge house. He's got 5 vehicles, and I had to file for bankruptcy 4 months ago. And
Wow.
and it wasn't until February, and again, that Band-Aid I had put on the trauma from the affair was just brutally ripped off. And I was back on my knees, like crying. And, you know, my roommate, we weren't living together at the time, but she happened to be in town that night, and she had to deal with my emotional, crazy self in February. And it wasn't until I started really looking into narcissism did I realize, holy cow, like I am part of this. And so I went back to my own therapist, and I'm still in therapy and have not talked to him since August 15th or February 15th. And the last thing he said to me was an email, and I'm not going to swear on live, but again, this is narcissism. Is he literally said, "You've ruined my life. You're the worst mistake I've ever made. I never want to speak to you again." And just all of these swear words, "You're crazy, you're this." And that was the last contact I've had with him. And I'm launching my book on the 6-month anniversary of my last contact with him. So, like I said, I was in the midst. So sorry, that was probably pretty long, but sometimes I go on a tangent.
It was a great story, but you are way better than me. Because we would have
What do you
had a
mean by that?
whole, I would have had a whole set it on fire, like everything's burning to the ground, like you was in.
Well, honestly, okay. So the night I found out he was at my house, so I'm not going to say like I was just like, oh, okay, believe me. It was a screaming match. I was very obviously very, very upset,
Right.
and kicked him out. He slept at the airport. And I had actually contacted the girl he lived with, not to be mean, but to let her
Mhm.
know, like, this is what's going on. And he actually offered me $1,000. He was in the airport, and he called me for hours and hours and hours, and I wouldn't pick up. But he offered me $1,000 for me not to contact his girlfriend. Of course, I didn't take it. Of course, I contacted her. And it was helpful because she started telling me, like, he made me go on meds before my marriage, and he made me think I was crazy, and he did the same thing to her. She was in therapy, she got on meds, and it was kind of a really good thing that I reached out to her with the chick about the affair. She was just downright mean to me. She was horribly mean to me, and I didn't want to do this to this girl because she had no idea, you know? And so it really helped me in the healing process of knowing that it wasn't me. It wasn't just
Right.
me. And I
Right.
mean, for 2 years, I didn't even know this girl existed. So basically, over 6 years, for almost 4 years, he's had another woman in our entire relationship.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like I said, I probably wouldn't have handled it the way you did. So.
Well, it does help that we're eight
I
hours away. It does help that
Yeah.
we're 8 hours away because, you know, the house and his vehicles and everything are up in Northern California, and I'm here in San Diego. So that does help, just letting you know.
I bet. It's a little bit. I don't know, but yeah. Um. So that it's an awesome story, and things happen for a reason because now you're 6 months on the anniversary. Your book is going to be, and you are taking a big leap forward in your life and bringing
Yeah.
to the world something that is needed and other women need to be inspired by,
Yeah.
especially
And
women who are going this. I know many women who have gone through this almost same scenario, almost not a little bit different, and they need the stuff to know of other people who are actually going through this like
yeah.
you know what I mean? That support
Yeah, this
needs to be
journey has
there.
yeah, this journey has been absolutely amazing. And I have to tell you that I have everything happens for a reason tattooed on my arm. And then after the divorce, I got I am enough tattooed on my collarbone. And the reason
Nice.
why, so there's a great uh, page on Instagram called Narcissist Survivor. And I actually just had a call with the creator of this yesterday. And that the things that she puts on there is so helpful. And that's kind of what I started following like back in February. And I do speaking engagements, and the women that come up to me after I share my story, it's absolutely unbelievable. And like you just said, women and even men, because there are women out there that are the same, and so this isn't just focused on women.
Right.
I really love women empowerment, but I also want the men out there to know that this book is also for you because it doesn't just focus on relationships. It focuses on if you're stuck in health, if you're stuck in career. And I
Point.
share my, journey from being a licensed therapist in the corporate world into entrepreneurship and the fear that comes up with that. And so, but my heart, my passion, honestly, is to be absolutely 100% authentic and real. And I don't share my story because I want people to feel bad. I'm a
Right.
survivor. My life is thriving. I share my story because I want people to know that they're not alone. And I know
Right.
what it means to struggle. I know what it means to have to be picked up off the floor by your best friends. I know what it means and how it feels not to be able to get out of bed. And the minute I said goodbye to him, I was allowing him to write my story for 6 years. I was allowing him to allow myself to believe I was not enough. And in the minute
Right.
I said goodbye to him, a week later, because I always told my friends 2 years ago when we got divorced that when I sold my wedding ring, I was going to go to Cabo with my girlfriends. And so a week after I said goodbye to him, like I knew, I knew it was done. I sold my wedding ring and I booked a trip to Cabo with 5 of my girlfriends, and it was called my Celebration Closure Cabo trip. And we just went in June, and the book is coming out. I just got booked on the Jenny McCarthy show in September. I know, I'm so excited. You guys will have to tune into that. Um, so all of these things are happening. And it's not that I'm saying, oh my gosh, life is absolutely great right now, because it's not. I mean, I still have struggles in my personal life. And it's
Right.
this book, it's the steps that I'm constantly going back to. So it's something that I live with. And that's why I wanted to write the book, is because I've been through the steps. I know that they work. And my passion and my purpose is to share my story, to even just inspire one person.
Right.
That makes everything, all the drama that's been going on with my book the last couple weeks, like with the printing and everything, it makes everything worth it if I can just touch one person's life.
Right. And you know, so tell for other authors who are going through this process that you're just now finishing, what is a little bit of advice and encouragement that you can give to them at this point?
Oh, so like I said, I was very lucky in the writing process. The first thing I would say is, and I'm sure you've heard, is start an outline just of what you want, and then just write. Don't worry about the editing. Don't worry about finding a layout designer. Don't worry about any of that. just right. Through this process and get really connected on different groups on Facebook, like that are focused on, writers and authors. That's how I've been connected with so many people. I'm doing, 2 to 3 podcasts a week, meeting amazing people. One of the guys, Sean Douglas, I have to give him a shout out. He's active duty member, and I call him my book manager, although that's just the title I've given him. He's taken me under his wing, and he's the one that has helped me through this process over the last 3 months, because I was clueless, y'all. Like, I had no idea what I was doing when I wrote my book, but I found my amazing editor, Natara Osborne, and my amazing layout designer, Tamara Cribley, and my amazing cover designer through Sean J. Perez, and everything just fell together. So even with the editing process, so I am horrible at spelling and grammar, and I actually have not read my book. Right. Seriously, girl, like horrible. And I haven't read my book. And so when because for me, it was just about writing. And so I sent my rough draft, completed project to my editor, and I said, I'm so sorry. You're probably going to have to do a lot of extra work. I haven't read it through. I just want to send it because for me, I'm such a perfectionist that I didn't want to second guess what I wrote, because what I wrote is right from my heart. And I didn't want to read it and say, oh, well, maybe I should add this. Maybe I should add that. I want it to be real and authentic. And so she had a lot of work to do, but it was amazing. And so now for all the authors, soon to be authors out there, the last 2 months has been absolutely chaotic and stressful. I'm not going to lie about it. I'm self-publishing, and I looked between, self-publishing and going with a publisher. But I wanted this whole process to be my own. I wanted to say, I marketed, I did this on my own. Maybe down the road I'll get picked up. I don't know. But for me, it was just really important to do it on my own. Let me tell you, going through CreateSpace to post on Amazon, my cover has been denied, I think 10, 11 times, just because of not what it looks like, but just because of it being uploaded and like that kind of stuff. And literally right now, y'all, I'm going to be completely honest with you. Can I be completely honest with you right now? So I got my proof and my spine is not correct. So, and again, this has nothing to do with my cover designer or anything. This is like a CreateSpace issue. So sorry, CreateSpace, I love you, but it's an issue. And so I just resubmitted it and found out this morning that it, again, was denied. And my book is being published on Tuesday. So even up to this point, it has been completely stressful. But if it wasn't for my amazing launch team, my amazing friends and family, and Sean and everyone that has my back, I literally would be completely stressed out, like absolutely stressed out. And so one of the chapters in my book is about coping skills. And let me tell you, y'all, like I have literally been using every coping skill that I know over the last couple of weeks. But it's part of the journey, right? It's a struggle, and that's what life is.
Right. Well, once you get through all this, your journey is just going to keep continuing, so you know.
I hope so. Yeah.
I mean, you have a great opportunity that, you're already doing podcasts and you're already doing PR work, you're getting on TV shows off the bat, which is something that a lot of even get or even know how to get to. So your book team is doing great. I think that Sean's efforts there with the PR work. But from after that, it's just going to be like, what's the next strategy? What's the next? You know what I mean? It's just going to continue on and on and on and on.
Yeah. So, and again, like to anyone, any authors out there, yeah. And I want to encourage like anyone that's thinking about writing a book or is in the midst of it, please reach out to me. And I've been so blessed to have these amazing people offer their services, some for free, some for a very, very discounted price, because they believe in me. And I want to do the same for your audience. Whether it's writing a book or starting a new career or starting a new health journey, like that is what I'm on this earth to do. And, there's so many little things in regards to PR and promotions that I was absolutely unaware of. So I've been doing weekly sneak peeks for the last 7 weeks into my book. So if you go to my blog, you can read each little sneak peeks from each chapter, which I didn't even think about. But of course, Sean told me. And so just all of these little things leading up to the book launch. So again, anyone that has any questions, please reach out to me. You can book a consultation on my website for anyone, authors, just anyone who feels like they're just stuck, but they have this feeling that they want to do something more.
Yes. Awesomeness. So hashtag author support here with Meghan Fenyoe.
Yes.
I love it. I love it. So my next question for you is, now when your book is released, what does literary success look like to you?
That is a good question. Because to be honest, when I started writing this book, it wasn't about, I just wanted to share my story. I wasn't thinking, oh, I'm going to make a lot of money, I'm this, I'm that. I literally just wrote it and I was like, oh, maybe I'll get a couple coaching clients out of it, right? But then for me, like the success of the book is knowing when I'm speaking and things like that, like people coming up to me and with tears in their eyes or just sharing their story, that is success for me, right? And yes, I would love to be a #1 best-selling author. And if you guys want to help me do that, that's great. But that wasn't, my intention at all when I started writing this book. And success is, again, it's not about me. It's not. If someone can hear or get something, just one thing out of my book, that makes it a success. And so, yeah, that's kind of what, not about me. So, but I love all your support, everyone.
So yeah, in and out. We have Michael J. Arbuer. I hope I'm saying. He's saying congratulations. Sean Douglas is watching, and
Yeah,
you guys,
Sean.
Sean. I've actually had coaching sessions with Sean, and he's the one who came up with my tagline, "Visibility Creator."
I know, and he connected you and I.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, yeah.
So definitely connect with Sean. He's a TEDx speaker. He's an awesome person. I actually probably gotta meet with him some more here soon, but
Yeah.
I've been so busy. But yeah, thanks for everybody who's coming through and watching with us today. If you're just now catching the replay, also, if I can get everybody to do me just a favor and share this broadcast so that we can get Meghan Fenyoe's story about her and get everybody knowledgeable about her book launch that is coming up. So make sure you guys click on share and make sure you like and give us some more comments and engagement on this video. With that being said, Meghan, what is next? What is coming? What is
I love this question because I don't know. And to be honest, like I love kind of not knowing. I mean, I'm actually launching my own podcast with one of my fellow friends who's also a therapist, and it's called the Blonde Bombshell Podcast. So Delilah, I would love to have you as a guest. We're just in the midst of, yeah. Okay, so I have to tell you, everyone says that. Everyone's like, why would I be a guest on the Blonde Bombshell Podcast? I'm not blonde. It's not about being blonde. It's literally about, I know. I love it. So you'll be perfect.
Yeah.
You'll be perfect. And so it's just really about empowering us to find our inner bombshell and like what makes you a bombshell. I'm hoping that I can get Jenny on the show. We'll see after my interview if she'll come on the show. But So we're in the process of launching that. So I'm excited about that. And the future is so bright and it's so exciting. And I want to speak. I want to go around the country and travel and speak. And honestly, it wasn't until I started writing this book and getting feedback where I literally realized that I could do this. Like I could go and speak and do this. And obviously I want to continue my coaching business. I, want to continue to bring, clients through this 5-step system and watch them transform their mindset and their life. And so those are my 2 goals for the future. So it super excites me because I am enough. It is possible. I have a feeling it might work.
Nah, it is working. It's already working. It's already in play because you have taken the path that you're supposed to be on. So,
Thank you so much.
um, so my I'm trying to see how far we. Okay, my last question for you for this interview is: what was an early experience where you learned that language had power?
I'm sorry, you kind of cut out there. Can you repeat that? I heard
I think.
language. Yeah, sorry. It might be my internet connection.
Oh, no. What was an early experience where you learned that language had power?
Ooh,
Ooh,
as a
my
child.
favorite question.
Um,
As a
so I'm
child?
going to tell you, yeah, I mean, I, grew up in a difficult environment. But I'm going to share a story with you. So I have a learning disability and I have an 8th grade reading level and a 9th grade math level. So I was in the resource room in school. I've had, in college and my master's program, all of the special services, things like that. And my guidance counselor in high school, sorry for everyone that's watching from my high school, but it's the truth, told myself and my parents that I should never go to college because I was never going to graduate. And for me, that could have destroyed me. And I'm in high school. I don't know anything about mindset. I don't know anything about it. But honestly, like his voice in my head, that language that you're talking about, those words was so powerful that when I failed every test, when I wanted to give up because I didn't get into the teacher ed program because I kept failing tests to get into the program. And that's when I switched my major to social work. He was the voice in my head, those words to keep me going every single day. And that is the power of words and language. It's what we say to ourselves, what other people say to ourselves, and how do we restructure our brain cognitively to be able to change those negative things that we say to ourselves to positive, because it's all about the words, it's all about the language that we say to ourselves that either keeps us stuck or allows us to move forward. I love that
Right.
question, by the way. I absolutely love that question.
Yeah, it's my favorite one to ask because then you
Yeah.
really get a deep view of the author and what it really is going on behind them when they're writing. I
Yeah.
I love that question. So yeah, with that being said, everybody go and click on the link to go see the pre-order. If you're just on YouTube, go pre-order
There's
the
a
book.
book.
It's launching August 14th. It is launching, and you guys need to go and make sure you're on that list. Hashtag support the author. Leave a review after you have read the book. And if you are currently just watching this and it's after August 14th, go leave a review for the book.
Yes,
um,
please.
review, and support. Connect with Megan on Facebook and her Instagram, and she has a ton of free resources for you on her website, which is, let me shout it out real fast, missionstrengthd.com. So MISSIONSTRENGTHD.com. Mission
San
statement.
Diego. And
So
also
it is
just
off.
oh, sorry. I just wanted to say too, like that's where you can get the sneak peeks into the book too on the website. So if you guys are itching for more, go to the blog and check out the posts.
Beautiful. Nice. All right. And any last words you got, or not last words? So, anything else you would like for everybody to know before we end the broadcast?
Well, first and foremost, I just want to thank you, Delilah, for doing this and having me on your show. Thank you for your service. I really appreciate it. I love connecting with fellow active duty members and veterans.
Yes.
And thank you to your audience. You know, all of the support has been absolutely amazing. And I'm just so blessed and so thankful. And I want to give back. So please, you know, anyone that's watching, don't hesitate to contact me and just talk. You know, I'm not going to sell you anything. I just want to connect with people. And I like to end by kind of repeating this quote, this phrase that I came up with that's in my book, if you're okay with that.
I love it.
Okay.
I love it.
So it basically says that you are enough in whatever season you're in. And the more you celebrate and focus on that, the more you will live in your strength.
Nice. I love it. You know what, guys? We are enough. And we are enough to take whatever journey that we are on at the moment and turn it into triumph, like Megan has taught us today. Once again, go and get her book, You Are Enough, 5 Steps to Move from Struggle to Strength. And we will be here on the Marketing and Coffee Show soon again. Until next time, we love you guys. Ciao.
Bye.
Hashtag support your author by leaving reviews. You can visit this author's book at the link above. Make sure to subscribe and ring the bell to receive our notifications.